welcome back, one and all. Thank you so much for joining us here on Jamieson TV, your home of West Indies cricket analysis. Now, the series, they are coming really fast, one behind each other. And so we will be previewing now the test series to be played between West Indies and New Zealand. We would have gone through the T20 series and the ODI series. Now we are about to embark upon the test series. Now, I mean, New Zealand would have been buzzing with confidence, having beaten the West Indies 3-1 in the T20 series and 3-0 in the ODI series. Now, I want to put things into perspective, because, you know, if you are someone who just, you know, look on the results only, it would appear that, you know, West Indies would have been thrashed by New Zealand. But for those who would have watched the game, we would have known that, you know, these were some close encounters, and this series, these two white ball series, could have gone, you know, either way. As it relates now to the test series, I think, you know, New Zealand will be looking to assert, you know, their dominance back at home. As you would have known, December of last year, you know, England would have gone to New Zealand and beat them 2-1, you know, in their backyard. In 2025, though, New Zealand would have gone to Zimbabwe and beat Zimbabwe 2-0 there. As it relates to the West Indies, we have been having some poor runner farming in the, you know, test format. I mean, to start the 2025, we would have drawn that series in Pakistan. That win was a really historic win. And I mean, in the summer of this year, Australia came here and beat us 3-0. We went to India a few months ago and we were beaten 2-0 in India. But looking back on the India series, I think West Indies would have left that series with some confidence, given the fact that, you know, in the second you know, test, we would have, you know, played a much better all-round, you know, game, a much better, you know, application, you know, in India. And I think we really, you know, push India in that second, you know, test, even though we were, you know, given the follow-on, but we really made use of that follow-on and keep, you know, India in the field for a long, you know, period of time. As you know, New Zealand is one of the toughest places to play, you know, test cricket. Very, very tough conditions to play in. I mean, the conditions currently, sometimes it is very cold, right? It gives, you know, the fast bowlers some, you know, the pitch or the condition would help the fast bowlers, you know, a lot of ways. This series will be a series where West Indies will want to, you know, show that they are progressing, you know, show the world that their tests or red ball cricket is progressing in the right direction. New Zealand, on the other hand, as I would have said, they would want to assert, you know, their dominance at home in the longer format of the game. Looking back on the last series West Indies would have played in New Zealand, I think we were beaten really badly. That, you know, dates back to December of 2020. I think New Zealand would have posted in the first test, posted 519 for 7 and declare, and West Indies were skittled out, you know, for 138 and 247. And New Zealand won, you know, that game by an innings and 134 runs. Kane Williamson got a double century, 251 to be exact, you know, in that first test. In the second test, New Zealand batted first and they posted 460 all out, and West Indies were given the follow-on again. They made 131 and 317. New Zealand won by an innings and 12 runs. So West Indies will want to improve, you know, immensely on that performance. We were beaten 2-0 in that series back in 2020. Right, so we will want to improve on that. In fact, as I am, you know, doing this video, West Indies is currently playing a warm-up match against New Zealand 11, and the last score at 58 overs. West Indies were 201 for 1, with John Campbell getting 68. And at the wicket were Tejnarayan Shandapal on 82, and also Brandon King on 41. At the time when I was recording this video. So we are not looking too bad in that warm-up game, right? But we know that the test cricket will be much difficult challenge. So in terms of the context of the series, we know that these series are very important as it relates to acquiring World Test Championship points. So that's what is at stake, points in relation to the World Test Championship. And so both teams will want to win the test series in order to garner points as it relates to the 2025 to 2027 World Test Championship cycle. In terms of tactical breakdown, New Zealand, as you know, they are known for a more disciplined team as it relates to bowling. They are relentless with their seam bowling, very disciplined, and they have depth in their batting. With Kane Williamson coming back for this series, Darrell Mitchell is back, having got a groin injury in the first ODI, and we remember he scored 119 in that first ODI. Generally, New Zealand, they have stability in their top order, and then through the middle, they become very impactful because they have some really good middle order batters. So West Indies will be mindful of that. West Indies more will be on a survival early, especially facing those seam bowlers in the early stage of the game. They will want to survive and then try to counter punch as the match progresses. And that's generally what West Indies try to do. I mean, they are West Indies are very aggressive team. They bat very aggressively, but we have Tejnarayan Shandapal who will look to anchor the innings, and seek to bat deep in the innings and so forth. Our pace attack, generally our pace attack is our strength, but this time around we would have lost, Alzari Joseph and Shamar Joseph to injury. They are in rehabilitation, at this time, so they will not be a part of this series. So that was a really big dent in our fast bowling setup. Without further hesitation, I'm going to be looking on both squads, the West Indies squad and also the New Zealand squad for this test series. Now, for our batters are Alec Athanas, Brandon King, Kavem Hodge, John Campbell, Tejnarayan Shandapal, Shea Hope, Tevin Imlach. In terms of our all-rounders, we have Ruston Chase and Justin Graves. Ruston Chase is our captain, and the bowlers we have OJ Shields, Kemar Roach, Jamel Warrican, vice captain, Jayden Seals, Anderson Phillips, and Johan Lane. Looking on the squad, I mean, there are 3 big talking points coming out of this West Indies squad, and I'm going to look on the 3 names that are currently in orange. First, Kemar Roach is back, and to be honest with you, where Kemar Roach is concerned, I was very upset when Kemar Roach was not included in that Australia series. We know that Alzari, Jayden Seals, and Shamar Joseph are our main fast bowlers right now, and that is fine, right? But we need Kemar Roach in and around the team to help the younger boys to pass on some of that experience. For someone who would have taken 284 wickets in test cricket, I mean, he has a lot of experience which he can pass on to the younger guys. And to be left out of that Australia series, I think it was a bad call by Sammy, and also having selected Anderson Phillips, and with all due respect to Anderson Phillips and Johan Lane, but you cannot select those 2 guys over Kemar Roach going to India. I think that was another bad call by Darren Sammy. But now, given the fact that Alzari Joseph and Kemar Joseph are out, I think it was the right call to recall, Kemar Roach back into the lineup. Very experienced player. When you look on, Kemar Roach numbers for Test cricket, he played 85 matches, and he has taken 284 wickets, as I said, at an average of 27.2, at a strike rate of 52.6, with his economy of 3.1, and with best figures of 6 for 48. This is someone, who has a lot, 85, test matches in this era is a lot, so this is someone who has a lot to pass on to the younger guys, and I think, Darren Sammy made the right call to recall, Kemar Roach. OJ Shields. OJ Shields, I mean, this was a very, surprise call up, given the fact that, OJ Shields has played, not played a lot of, first class cricket. In fact, OJ Shields has played 16, first class game, taking 34 wickets at an average of 37.1, at a strike rate of 55.9, with economy of 3.98. Best figures are 4 for 86. So those numbers are not, numbers that really pops out at you. But I can understand the reason why OJ Shields was called up. We need some express fast bowling down in New Zealand because of the conditions. And I think he's one of the fastest bowlers in the region right now. But he will need to learn to have, good control down in New Zealand. But I do understand the reasons why, Darren Sammy would have called him, for this test series, given the fact that, two of our main bowlers are out. During this year, OJ Shields would have played one match for the West Indies A against South Africa A. And he bowled 15 overs in that game, and he took 2 wickets for 90 runs at an average of 45 and at an economy of 6 runs per over. So the numbers are not really, popping out at you, but I do understand why Darren Sammy would have gone for someone like OJ Shields. The next person on the list is Kavem Hodge. He was recalled. As you know, Kavem Hodge was already in the West Indies setup. He had played 11 matches so far for the West Indies, and he has amassed over 500 runs, and that his highest score was that 120 that he made. I think it was in England. His average is 25.3, striking at 50.1. He has made 1 century and also 3 50s under his belt at this level, right? So I think Darren Sammy wanted to bolster the middle order. We have been, having some issues, with our top and middle order. So Kavem Hodge was, given the fact that Casey Carty has not been really scoring a lot of runs, and we are just having, a lot of collapses, in the top to middle order. So I think Kavem Hodge now was, selected to kind of bolster, the middle order, and hope that he will be able to, to perform well. Kavem Hodge is a player that really works hard on his game, and I think I really, admire his work ethics, and so I know he will, he will fight, in New Zealand for the team. All right, but overall, I think the squad, is well balanced, with, experience and young players. It's just, the bowling lineup has a little bit, lack experience other than Kemar Roach. I think the others, they are, really young. And so I think Kemar Roach will have a lot on his hand there to kind of help, those younger bowlers to really, put their head down and to bowl really well in New Zealand. In terms of New Zealand squad, their batters, Tom Blundell, Devon Conway, Darrell Mitchell, Rachin Ravindra, Kane Williamson, Will Young, keeper Tom Latham, all-rounder Mitchell Santner and Michael Bracewell, and their bowlers include Jacob Duffy, Zachary Fawkes, Matt Henry, Blair Tickner, and Nathan Smith. So New Zealand squad, well balanced squad, well balanced, and they have fast bowlers who have mastered their home conditions. I think they will be missing Will O'Rourke, who is still injured. But with the likes of Kane Williamson and Darrell Mitchell coming back, I think that would have strengthened the squad there for the New Zealanders. Kane Williamson would have retired from T20 cricket a few weeks ago, and he actually opted to skip the ODI series to focus on the Test series. So I know that he will be coming into this game, wanting to score some runs. So we will be, have to be mindful of that and try to get, Kane Williamson out as quick as possible. Darrell Mitchell coming back from, a groin injury, which he picked up in the first ODI, and he's currently 8th on the ICC Test batting ranking. So we know that he is a class player as well. In terms of their seamers, as I said, Will O'Rourke and Ben Shears, they are still injured. Kyle Jamieson will miss, the series opener as well, and so that may give, Tickner another opportunity to play, another test for New Zealand. So in terms of players to watch from the West Indies, we know Shea Hope he will be the glue, in this team. He has to bat, really long for us if we are to really, put up a strong, opposition in this series. Jayden Seals, Kemar Roach, I expect them to be vital in terms of, giving us some really good breakthrough and to provide some swing bowling as well. Kane Williamson for the New Zealand, we know he's a technical master, in terms of batting. He's very patient, and he can bat both spin and seam bowling. So he's a technical batter, world-class batter, and so he will be one to watch for the New Zealand. He will be one to watch for the New Zealanders. In terms of bowling, Jacob Duffy and Matt Henry, they have been really superb in the ODI, and T20 series, and I expect them to continue, exploiting their home conditions and be ruthless against the West Indies. Darrell Mitchell, as I said, is a high impact, middle order force. So we expect, nothing less from Darrell Mitchell. So, all in all, New Zealand seems a very strong, lineup, very strong compared to the West Indies. But that will not deter the West Indies players. They just need to, apply themselves to the conditions. We have to be patient. We have to have grit. We have to be resilient, in this series. West Indies will seek to, continue their, improvement in the red ball, format. Very tough conditions to play in, but I expect, the boys to really put their head down and to, make us proud here back in the West Indies. And that's where I will leave it for now. Stay tuned as I will be sharing my proposed 11 leading up to the first test. I will share, my proposed 11 for the West Indies and also my proposed 11 for the New Zealand team. So stay tuned for that video. Thank you so much for joining us. Please remember to hit that subscribe button. Please remember to share your thoughts down in the comment section. Like the video and to share the link with your friends and family. Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you in the next video.